Ready? This is my audience, Allie, Jake, and Maddie. Okay, so how many of you guys are stressed out by school or work or your family or something going on in your lives? Everybody, right? Everyone gets stressed out. It's inevitable. Stress is just something that we all have to deal with. So tonight we're going to talk about what stress is, what you can do to relieve it, what you've been doing, and why you should change what you've been doing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what stress actually is. According to dictionary.com, stress is the physical pull, strain, or pressure on an object from something else. So in our lives, stress is that overwhelming feeling that we feel every time that something in our lives changes. According to the New York Times, people stress when they're tending to adapt to change. So something as simple as moving or changing schools or starting a new job, all of these things can cause stress. And as we all know, tests and things like that and homework and classes can also cause stress. So if we all have stress and we all have problems that we have to deal with, why wouldn't we do something fun to relieve that stress? So tonight we're going to talk about what fun things we can do to relieve our stress. Well, you could go and exercise, you could get a massage, you could do aromatherapy, you could meditate, you could take vitamins, you can organize your house. All of those things are good things for you to do according to Fox News, but they only affect you. If you're exercising, that only affects you. If you're doing aromatherapy, that only really affects you. You're the only person that's being relieved of their stress. And CBS New York tells us that stress is contagious. In fact, it's as contagious as the common cold. So if you're around people who are stressed, they're going to stress you out. And if you're stressed, you're going to stress out those around you. So if you're exercising and you're the only person that is getting stress relieved, but you're stressing out people around you, why wouldn't you want to help them relieve their stress too? Now we could all go out in one gigantic group and do big group exercise and everybody could get hot and sweaty and smelly and nasty, but what fun is that? No one wants to get sweaty and gross. So instead, the best way to relieve stress for yourself and those around you is to bake. Because when you're baking, you're helping yourself because you've got the aromatherapy going on, you're doing all sorts of different things. And according to the Sacramento magazine, baking for stress relief is actually as relaxing as meditating for half an hour. So if you sit down and bake to relieve your stress, you're actually doing more for yourself than as if you were to meditate for half an hour. So, of course, the best ways to relieve stress by baking is to help yourself because you're doing all the normal stress relievers. You're having aromatherapy, you're doing a bodily kinesthetic movement where you've got your hands moving dough around, and you're deep breathing, and you're focusing on what you're doing so your brain is not necessarily distracted on something that's stressing you out. So, also, chocolate, as all women know, releases happy endorphins. They make you feel better, it makes you feel really happy, and it releases a chemical in your brain that is actually the same chemical as marijuana. So when you're smoking marijuana and you're eating chocolate, those are both releasing the same chemical in your brain. So if you just throw some chocolate chips into the cookies that you're making, you now have really great happy endorphins to help everyone else around you. So when you're baking and you have all these cookies and you give them to people around you, it helps them because it makes them happy and it makes them feel good and it makes them feel special because you did something nice for them, but it also helps you because you've gotten the aromatherapy and the bodily kinesthetic and you've gotten something to focus on instead. So not only are you now less stressed, but the people around you are less stressed because they're feeling good and taken care of. So as we go on, some of the best ways to relieve stress by baking are to make cookies because you're digging your hands around. There are ways to make brownies because you actually have to go through and measure different things and spread it in the pan and make it even. You can always make a cake, which requires you to think about different things. So there are all sorts of ways that baking can help you relieve stress. It can make you feel better as a person. It can make those around you feel better because they feel loved and taken care of. So we all know that baking is relaxing and therapeutic and so much more fun than exercising. So tonight I hope that you'll go away remembering what stress is, why you should do different things instead of what you've been doing, why you should bake instead of what you've been doing, and I hope that you can just take away something really fun and positive from this experience. So, who wants a cookie? And this is my audience, Allie, Jake, and Maddie.